welcome to Henco Julfo. I'm Julfo. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create the effect shown in the new introduction for Henco Julfo. I don't think I've got much time, so I'm going to make this a quick tutorial. Anyway, let's jump straight into it. First, create a new composition and use the HDV 1080 29.97 preset and change the frame rate to 30 and make it 10 seconds. Now go ahead and create a new solid. It doesn't matter what size it is and it doesn't matter what it's called. It's probably wise to make it black though. And then change the size, resize it so that it's slightly taller than the composition but not as wide. Now go to Effects, Noise and Grain, Fractal Noise. Now I'm just going to say quickly that this tutorial is based on the one found at videocopilot.net, so I'll give most of the credit to Andrew Kramer who made this tutorial, but it's slightly different, so let's get on with it. Make the contrast a lot higher than it was, probably to about 600, and then take the brightness down quite a bit, maybe minus 100. Now go to Transform, unclick Uniform Scaling and take the height up to about 600 and the width up to about 150, for example. Next, keyframe evolution by clicking the stopwatch and go forward to 5 seconds and change the evolution to 2. Also, twirl the evolution options and click cycle evolution and change that to the number of evolutions that we selected earlier. That's 2. Now if you look at frame 5 seconds and frame 0 seconds, you'll notice they're exactly the same. That's because this will now loop, and that's because of the evolution options where we clicked cycle evolution. It means it's loopable. Next, change the layer mode to screen, sometimes also called transfer mode, and then click Effect, Color Correction, Hue Saturation. Click the Colorize button and change the hue to whatever you wish, the saturation to 100 and the lightness down a little bit to about -8, -9, -10, and I'm just going to select a nice deep blue for that. Now we're going to go to Effect, Distort, Bezier Warp, don't know how you pronounce that, so I'll call it Bezier Warp, and just move this around a little bit so it looks cool. Nice curves. And you can move it to a different part of the screen. And then click Effect, Stylize, Glow, and change the glow radius to a bit higher, probably about 80 will do, maybe a bit less, and leave the rest of those settings as they are. And now if we just cycle through quickly, we can see that it's quite cool. It moves and loops. If I take down the composition length to 5 seconds and ram preview, you can now see this lovely effect. I didn't ram preview all of it because it was taking too long. Now I just want to make this slightly more streaky, so I'm going to change the contrast up a bit and the brightness down a bit of my fractal noise, and I also want to change the quality of my Bezier warp to 10 which is the highest it goes for some reason. And you can see we have quite a nice first layer. Now duplicate this solid by clicking Ctrl and D, and if we just name them quickly by selecting the name and pressing enter, we can name that blue. What colour should we have for the second one? Red. Let's name that red. Move it out the way. Change the colorize hue to something around red. Now, to get a bit of uniqueness for this layer, we're going to change the Bezier warp for a slightly different effect. And that'll do nicely. And we're also going to change both of these layers to 3D.